What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Phase 6, your source for music, business, motivation, and support. It's your boy, Sirr Love, and I'm super excited to have another episode of Chasing Greatness. Super excited, as you guys know. Today is a call out episode. I am randomly reaching out to all of you supporters out there. I just sent a mass text blast to a couple individuals, couple cities, couple different cities, that would be appropriate for the time period. And we're going to see how many responses we get. I'm already starting to get a bunch of messages coming in. I am not going to get to everybody, but I'm going to reach out to a couple individuals that have sent me questions. Some of you guys were quick with the trigger and replied very quickly. I want to make sure that I support you and answer some of the questions that you guys have. So let's jump into it. Let's just jump straight into it today and see what's on the plate. So first, I got Reason out of California, and Reason sent a question over regarding PROs, and it looks pretty interesting. Let's see what he says. Should you still sign up with a PRO even if you don't have a fan base? And that's a great question. I do want to give you some insight on the question, but let's call him up. Actually, let me give you a little bit of insight, and then let's go ahead and call him up just so that we can get his context on it. But what I will say is the answer to that question is yes, because just because you don't have a fan base does not mean that you cannot generate revenue. All right, you can generate revenue through movies, through licensing deals that are not just movies. Licensing can be a wide plethora of things that I talk about all the time, but you do not need a fan base to generate revenue through your royalties and your publishing, right? There are people that make a lot of money that do not have one fan in the world. So yes, you still need to sign up, and let's talk about it, because you never know when you're one step away from getting placed on a video game or a commercial or an independent movie that gets picked up by Netflix or something of that nature. So let's give Reasons a call and let's see where this conversation goes. I'm going to go ahead and buzz him in right now. Let's do it.
Hello?
What's going on, Reasons? How you doing? This is Sirr Love.
Oh, how you doing, man?
I'm super solid, man. I sent out that blast and you were the first person that sent the message back. And I'm like, I gotta call this guy
man.
Because he was scissor fingers with it, man. How's your day going out there in Cali?
I'm going through it. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I'm going through it right now, but I'm doing all right, doing better, working on music now, so kind of got me out of my little slump.
Okay. So you're in a writer's slump right now? Like you're struggling to kind of put the words together? Or?
No, it's just like a normal, life.
Okay, got it.
Life ups and downs, slump.
Got it. Now I get it, man. Cali's a hard city too, man. So these things, they come and go, right? These phases, they come and go. I want to say, first off, I appreciate you for watching the channel and supporting everything that we're doing. And I'm, super excited that you reached out. And so I want to make sure that I'm delivering and answering your question and kind of giving you some feedback that can help you win. And hopefully some of this information might, shift your energy a little bit and help you, kind of point down a direction of catching more W's, because we know it's it's waves. It comes and it goes, So let's talk about it. You said, should you sign up for a PRO when you don't have fans? That was your question, right?
Yeah.
And so the answer to that question when I saw it was immediately yes, right? And the answer is yes because, there's so many opportunities to get money out here and to win in the music business that do not require fans. And I really have a prediction that in the future, more artists are going to be getting involved in some of those traditional avenues of generating revenue, because there's going to be more possibility and opportunity there. So things around, getting placements for gaming, things around, situations associated with movies, television shows, commercials, all of these things pay out, and some of your payouts are going to come through royalties and streaming, and not just streaming, royalties through sync deals, and they have nothing to do with whether you have fans or not. I actually know people that make a full living, make hundreds of thousands of dollars a year, and they do not have any fans. They do not make music for fans. They make music strictly for television and movies. So, question for you: what sparked this conversation for you? Like, what made you ask that question?
Because actually, I'm doing right now. I'm, starting this music journey on my own. So I've been ever since. I want to say maybe like 2 years ago. I've been, studying, just watching all the videos I can about music, music and, the business side of it. And it's like, I'm trying to figure out a way to, start making money and, so I can take it a little more seriously. Because, actually, you're like the second person I asked this, about the getting with a pro, and it's like, I understand, but it's just like, because I have music on Spotify right now. I have 2 songs on Spotify, and it's just like, okay, I'm buying, music promo, and, it's, I'm getting streams from it, but it's just like now, like, I'm cool for that. I want to start, bringing in money because, I kind of quit my job to take this music a little seriously. I'm not totally quit it. I do Instacart and stuff. But I was wondering, like, how am I going to bring in more? How am I going to start making money off of the music? Does that make sense? And it's just like, I see people, have fans and, they're streaming it and, getting royalty checks and stuff. And it's just like, well, I want to start, I'm wondering if me putting my music, if I'm putting my music on Spotify and it, it's getting streamed, it's not getting, the most streams, 100,000, but it's getting up there. Like,
you're at 100,000 streams right now?
No, I'm not. I was saying, my streams aren't that high, and so I feel like, in order to get royalties from Spotify, my streams have to be in those, in that amount of streams. So let's do this. Let's talk money, right? Because right now you're basically saying, I want to get money. And there's a couple things that I heard you say that I want to point out to you and provide a little insight on. All right. Number one, if you're playing the streaming game, you need to understand how money works. All right. 1 million streams on average across multiple platforms is on average about $4,000, $4,500, something like that. Right. So to get less than 5 bands, you need 1 million streams. So let's put that in perspective, and you can do the math, less than, to figure out, okay, what would be, 500,000 or 250,000 streams, et cetera, right? So if you're trying to survive in Cali and pay your rent and this, that, and the third, you gotta be doing at least 1 million streams a month. If you're only depending on streams, right? Because you need to get at least like $4,500 a month, right? That would be a decent amount of revenue for you. So 12 million streams a year, you could potentially, survive, right? That would have you somewhere around a little over 50,000 for the year, right? And that would be a real career for you, right? That's money, okay? Let's talk about other avenues of money. Other avenues of money for you could be doing sync deals or television placements, right? I just did recently, the most recent television deal I did, it was a theme song, $20,000, right? So if you're shopping your music to television, to commercials, to all these outlets, there's a huge opportunity. Right now, there's COVID, everyone's locked in their house. There's a huge opportunity for placements in television because there's another independent movie coming out every other day. There's like over 100 independent movies dropping a day. I mean, that's not a realistic number, but it's crazy. This. You're watching Netflix, you're watching Hulu, you got Stars, you got ABC, all these different things are happening, and all these people need music, right? They need people that have done their work, their job, who went and did the PRO work, that have their publishing together, their royalties together, that did what they were supposed to do and submitted their records, put the metadata on their records correctly, so when they search for your music, they know where to put it in a movie. That's very important for movies, right? All that type of information, right? So these are avenues that you can start taking to really generate revenue and generate money for yourself. And the last thing I want to say, which I think is super, super important, like those are just 2 general areas, right? Streaming, sync deals.
something else that's extremely important that I want to say to you is you said, hey man, I just quit my job because I want to take my career seriously. And that is something that is super troubling to me as a person that knows what it takes financially to make it in this space, and a person that hears the lies, because right now, as I said before, the music industry and motivational speaking industry have collided, and for some reason we believe that you have to be dead broke, sleeping in your car to prove that you really want it, and that's not true. The person that really wants it is the person that works that bullshit job that they don't fucking want to do, and they go there every day and stack up their chicks because they want to invest in streaming playlists that are going to help them reach 1 million plays a month so that they can make $4,500 a month, right? That's not the it's very easy to quit and just believe in the dream and fantasize and say that you're going to somehow make it and be broke out here struggling, living the dream in your mind. It's much harder to actually go to fucking work, sacrifice however much money you're making, take 50% of it and put it to the side, 50% or more, put it to the side, live on scraps so that you can pay for the marketing opportunities that would allow you to invest in yourself and eventually get to the point where you're generating those streams consistently so that you can walk away from that job forever. I think that's a more realistic plan than quitting your job. It's easy to quit your job and dream. It's hard to keep your job, hate your job, and grind.
All right.
So I want to put that energy in the air, man. I know it's not what you wanted to hear, but I want to put that energy in the air.
No, yeah, I understand that, and you know, I mean, there's more to it why I kind of left my job right now, but it's not like I'm totally just, out here not making money. I'm doing this, I'm working, I'm getting money up, so it's not like, I understand what you're saying. Don't go for fairy tale dreams. I understand that,
Yeah, and I'm not trying to, and listen, I'm not trying to take, but listen, you opened the call by saying, listen, man, I'm in a weird space right now, and I am not trying to take shots at you, because I get it. I've been in those dark spaces where you really don't know what the F you're going to do with your life. I've been there. Like, I remember listening to motivational speakers, breaking down, crying in my room by myself, just listening to Les Brown and Tony Robbins on repeat because I couldn't figure out the fuck I was going to do with my life. So I don't know if you're there, but I know what it is to be down trying to figure out your next transition. I remember my transition from music to television, from television to nonprofit. I remember these transitions. They were hard transitions. They were uncomfortable, right? So as you're looking at your journey, you're trying to put it together, just take some time. The answer to your question is yes, do all your PRO work, get your stuff together, right? Because you don't want an opportunity to come and you're not ready. The last thing you want, and I'm going to be interviewing some music licensors and supervisors soon. You guys will be able to hear it from them, the people that actually place your stuff in movies. But the last thing you want is for someone to be super excited about your song, and they can't cut you that $20,000 check because you didn't do your paperwork. So the answer is yes. Get your PRO set up, because if you make dope music and somebody wants it, the music budgets always come last in film. They pay everybody out. They pay the music people last. So we get the bottom of the budget, number one. And two, we get the deal when they're beyond deadline. Like, oh my God, the show is going to air in 3 weeks. I need your song now. I don't have time to wait for you to do your publishing paperwork, find your split sheets. They don't have time, right? At that point, you just lost the deal. So yes, the answer to your question is yes. Do the PRO, get your stuff together. It doesn't cost much to get set up. Obviously with the PRO, ASCAP and BMI don't require any type of, special entry for membership. You got to get invited for CSAC because you're here in the States. So ASCAP is more affordable than BMI. So, make a choice on which path you want to go and sign up for them, for sure. I know I'm reaching out to quite a few people tonight, and I actually would love to continue this conversation, but I want to try to touch as many people as possible. But was that helpful? Did that kind of help your question and kind of help your view a little bit? I mean,
yeah, it really did. Yeah, it kind of, just, gave me another revenue option, way to generate revenue, revenue besides having a fan base. So I didn't really think about that, and so I'll definitely do some more research on which PRO I should sign up with.
Yeah, definitely look into the PROs, and look out for the videos that we're going to be coming out with, because I'm going to have a music supervisor, I'm going to have a licensor, I'm going to have all these people come on to the show, and they will tell you different ways and techniques to go about getting paid without having an audience. So I'm bringing that information to you. So, stay up. I know you're going through it. I listened to Tony Robbins and Les Brown when I was going through it. I would recommend them to you, Zig Ziglar as well. And then Eric Thomas. These are motivational speakers that can just sometimes something that they do can kind of get you motivated. I'm also a religious guy, so I listen to a lot of preachers and pastors. T.D. Jakes was really big for me when I was going through my lows. So I definitely suggest you watch some of these videos, get some inspiration, get yourself motivated, and get back on the horse. Take your time and do what you got to do. But I really appreciate you for reaching out, Reason, all right?
All right, thank you for calling me. I appreciate that.
Yeah, man, no problem, man. And stay tuned. I'm going to be doing this regularly. So next time I send a message out, if you reply as quick as you did this time, you'll be on again, man. So enjoy the rest of your day, bro. Take care.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
All right, later. Wow. That's real, man. I really would have loved to stay on that call just a little bit longer and just kind of indulge that piece. And try to figure out really what he's going through, because I know what it's like. For so many of us in the game, you reach these crossroads. He said he just quit his gig. You reach these crossroads where you're trying to figure out your life. You're questioning your own personal success. You're questioning if this is what you should do, if this is what you were made for. Is this your purpose? Should I be doing something else? Should I give up? Should I quit? And in music, we go through that so often, because as a creative person, people don't always value your art financially. People don't always value your art professionally. People that you love will tell you that you're wasting your time, and people that have no idea who you are will tell you that you're the truth. And it's a hard thing to juggle. So anyone that's going through that, stay consistent with the path. Do not give up on yourself. The biggest thing or biggest attribute that you can attribute to success is not quitting, right? 10, 12 years. If you go 20 years and don't make it, maybe it's you, but you might have to put in 10, 12 years before you really get where you want to be. Other people make it happen earlier. Some people get there lucky, but for you, it might be that. Stay down and stay committed. And I do not recommend ever quitting your job, because this crap is expensive and you need money to finance what you do. Let's keep it going. All right. Briciana from Dallas. This is a message from Dallas. Briciana says, "Hey, big brother FaZe VI. I'm such a huge fan of you, big guy. I would love a consultation session with you. Love to have a conversation. Have no idea what this conversation might be about. This might be interesting. Let's see where this is going. I just see when this particular individual reached out a while back and I never got back to him. So let me try to get back to this individual now, because you guys know I'm always moving around. So let's see if we can make some magic happen. What's going on? Here we go. Hello, is this Briciana?
It's Braziana, yeah.
Braziana, not Bree. Oh man, look at me. I'm mispronouncing the whole thing. Like I can't read the Brazi going on. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I am super solid. I appreciate you responding to the message.
Yeah. Oh wait. This is phase 6, right?
Yeah, this is Sirr Love from phase 6.
Oh, okay. I gotta calm down. Oh, okay. Okay, I'm sorry, but I've been watching you for literally a year.
Wow.
Great. I've been to watch your YouTube channel so many times. I learned everything about becoming a manager from you, and I have put so many things in budget just to work with you, and it's I'm trying to calm down because you're one of my super role models.
Wow. I'm super honored. First, let me say that I'm super honored, and thank you. We designed it for this purpose, right? So to kind of groom that next group of managers and leaders and give people the game without having them bump their head 1,000,001 times, mess up deals, sign bad contracts, et cetera, et cetera. So, it's super. I mean, that's big for me. It's super big for me to hear you say that, to hear that it's having that type of impact. So thank you. I mean, just for that energy. But that's crazy. So tell me, like, I sent a message out. I know you didn't have a particular question. So tell me what's going on. What are you doing? You're a manager now. You studied the videos. So obviously you've taken some of the steps. Where are you with your artists today? What do you got going on? Where are you stuck at? If you're even stuck.
I will tell you that I'm a musician first, I'm a performer first, and then I'm a manager. I've learned so much about social media marketing and how to put my music out there, but I guess I'm afraid that I don't have the right strategies, and I'm not very good at looking at analytics and bringing in monetization. I guess if that's all in a nutshell. I'm not sure how to monetize it and make money off of it. I have the talent down pat. I know how to go and get the royalties, but getting everything set up into the bank account and actually making it come in, that's the hard part for me.
Okay, and are we talking about doing this for you or for another artist? Because you also said you're an artist yourself or a creative yourself.
As far as myself, I'm talking about myself first.
Okay, got it. So what type of music are you doing? Let me get that.
I make hip-hop and R&B music.
Hip-hop and R&B music, and you're looking to generate revenue. Do you have any type of fan base today? What does that look like?
My fan base, I would say, is around 2K on Instagram, and then I use other outlets like Loom and what's the other one? Station Head.
Okay.
And those are the other two outlets that I have. I have not distributed it yet, but I plan to distribute on the 1st of October.
So you haven't released any music yet?
No, not all over, not on all platforms, but I do have a website with all of my information on it.
Okay. So Station Head is a radio solution, and Loom is kind of like a social media platform for people in music, right? So, both of these are environments where one of them you're collaborating with other creators, and the other one you're looking to build your audience with, potentially new fans, right?
Right.
Have you released singles?
No, not on all platforms, but it is released on my website.
Okay. And how many albums have you created currently?
And that one will be that's the one that's going to be distributed on the 1st.
And how many singles have you created?
5.
So you have 5 singles. You have an album that's coming out on the 1st. How many singles have you dropped?
None.
So here's my question. You're dropping an album on the 1st, which is about 6 days from now, but you haven't dropped a single. Why?
That'll be the 1st of October, and it's because I wasn't sure how to actually get the money going part of it.
Ah, all right. So what you're saying?
I got confused with BMI, and then I got confused with Sound Exchange, then having to go over to CD Baby, then to DistroKid, and it was just a lot of different platforms, but I don't have an actual, I guess, a process of getting it all up there.
Got it. All right. A lot of things going on. Let's talk about it. So a couple things. One, you're worried about making sure you protect your interests financially, which should be paramount. A lot of people forget about that and they don't worry about it till later. But also you do have to have a bit of push toward, hey, I just got to get it out. There's a certain level of fuck it that you have to have and try to get your music out there, because as a creative, we can get really caught up in the details. I want it to be perfect. I want it to be amazing, and you're not necessarily doing what you got to do. I mean, looking like what I'm doing with this podcast right now, for example, I got a mic. It's not the most expensive mic. I got some tools that aren't the best tools in the world, and I can go out and buy all these different things and set up this elaborate system. But instead I said, let me just get it started. Let me just start. A big piece of what you have to do is just start, right? So when it comes to the steps, your steps are very easy. They're very easy. First, number one, I walk through all these steps in super detail with the part 1 and the part 2 publishing pieces that I put on the website. The part 2 isn't available on the current website. The website update is getting ready to drop, and the part 2 will be available, which really gets into this. So I'm going to make you aware that is going to be available to you to check out when it drops. But for right now, me telling you the game, what you need to do, pick one, ASCAP or BMI. Pick one, all right, and get down. All right, they both have pros and cons. I don't think we ever released our pros and cons video, but there's pros and cons to each. I won't go through it right now because that's a whole conversation in itself. But ASCAP or BMI, pick one, sign up, period. Now that's done. You don't have to go through CD Baby, because I know CD Baby helps with it. They make you feel like it's easy. Don't worry about it. But, I'm not a fan of giving people so much control over my life, right? So sign up to ASCAP or BMI, period. Next, sign up to Sound Exchange, because Sound Exchange is going to be the most relevant thing to what you're doing with online releases, period. Go through the instructions, read it, sign up, pay the money, period. Sound Exchange actually doesn't cost you anything. BMI and ASCAP do. All right? Boom. Okay. Those two things are done. When it comes to your banking and all that, is it beneficial to go through the Secretary of State, get an ISRC code, and an EIN number and open up a bank account for your music? Yes, it is. However, if you have zero audience, you're going to have a bank account with zero deposits in it. So is that an urgent thing that you need to do tomorrow? No. When you start getting real money, do you need to do that ASAP? Yes. Is it very easy to set up an ISRC code and an EIN number and bank account? Yes, you can do all of that in the same day.
Okay.
Right? Generally, you gotta wait for the Secretary of State to send some paperwork back. You can do all that in a week. In short, you can do all that in a week. All right? So you shouldn't stop what you're doing for those things. All right? Next, your split sheets. Should you have some split sheets and have some record of your business and what you're doing? Yes. Should that stop your release? No. At this stage of your career, no. If you had 100,000 fans, not followers, but fans, or followers on Spotify, yes, but followers on Instagram, no. You have 100,000 followers on Spotify, then I say yes, don't drop this shit till you get your split sheets together. But for you, it's no worry. Like, you're trying to get music out there. You're trying to generate fans. So that's all the business stuff that you're getting caught up on. And I know people, I'm hearing you. I know people like you, because I'm kind of like you in a way, whereas I want to get my business together before I get my art together sometimes. And the art really leads the show. Like, I was working with a client one time that spent so much damn time, trying to get the business together. They never did the fucking art that was going to make us the money to even do business in the first place. It used to drive me crazy. Right? I used to tell this guy all the time, yo, stop fucking doing business plans and record a song. Record your single. Shoot the video. I scheduled this video 3 times. You rescheduled 3 times. It used to drive me crazy. Right? So for you got to take the art a little bit more seriously and put it in the forefront. That's something that I'm going to tell you, and you have to develop a little bit of fuck it to put it out there, and then let the business follow. Like, chase it a little bit. You're early enough in your career to do that. There are some things I told you what to do, but this part, do that. Now, from a marketing perspective, there's a lot of things you can do from a marketing perspective. That's a whole different conversation that we could have that I won't have time to have right now. But I promise you, I've never done any marketing content on the channel. And I am going to be doing marketing content for the first time soon. And I'm going to be giving you guys a lot of game in that space. But there's people like Brandman Sean, who I support for sure, as the homie, who breaks down a lot of different current strategies for marketing that you could use, in your regular everyday practice to kind of get you going and get you to where you need to be, right? There's other people online that are doing the same things. Go ahead.
Did you say his name was Brandman Sean?
Yeah.
That's the other guy I binge watching too.
Yeah, Brandman Sean, close friend of mine. He's a good dude. He has a lot of great marketing tactics that he releases. He releases a lot of current strategies that you could use today to get yourself out there from a marketing perspective. So I definitely suggest you just pick a couple. One thing about his channel is that he gives you so many options that it could be option overload and you don't know what to do. Should I use this person's strategy, that person's strategy, this person's strategy? Pick a couple things that you know that you can execute really well based off of the resources that you have. Financial resources, networking resources, etc. And just start executing them. Period. DistroKid. I'm a super fan of DistroKid. I personally use DistroKid. I say go with DistroKid for your release. CD Baby is fine too. I have had situations where there was I had problems with CD Baby, but however, they were very few far and in between compared to the amount of successful releases that I've had with CD Baby. I have no problem with DistroKid at all, but DistroKid does not provide as much support as a CD Baby at all. right? So, it's up to you and how much support you feel you need. But I think if you sign up for your own royalties and or publishing with your PRO, and you do DistroKid, I believe that you'll be just fine. If you want to sign up for a publishing administrator, you will have that option in the future. And right now, that's not super important for you because you're going to be collecting a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a fraction of a penny when it comes to royalties from a streaming perspective. Since you own your own music, you're going to make way more off just the general sales, which can yield you, as I've mentioned to other people, about $4,500 per million streams. So focus on that number, focus on hitting 1 million streams, focus on getting playlists, focus on other marketing activities that are going to help drive attention, focus on merch, because in my personal opinion, merch will get you way more revenue than streaming will up front. If you sell 100 t-shirts for $25, that is $2,500, right? If the cost for production was $15, you still walked away with a band. You still walked away with $1,000 off of 25 t-shirt sales. It's easier to get 25 t-shirt sales than it is to get 1 million streams. Right?
I believe that.
And so the equivalent would be 100 t-shirt sales would pay you about 150 t-shirt sales would pay you the same amount as 1 million streams. So from a business perspective, you need to be aligning your merchandise brand with your marketing initiatives to drive sales towards your merchandise, and you need to be getting more creative with the type of merchandise that you bring into the market so that you can attract unique customers to that who are super fans of you and love what you do. In addition to that, you need to be pursuing, because the independent's best friend is sync deals. You need to be pursuing sync deals with television and commercials and not radio, television, commercials, movies, all these things. Sync deals are an independent's best friend because movies and television shows, they know that they can pay you darn near nothing for your content. Well, darn near nothing is $20,000 to an artist like Usher that says, $20,000, you can't get my song for $20,000. You're not about to play Let It Burn while the chick is crying in the middle of the video because she just got an STD. You ain't gonna goddamn play Let It Burn to be your hit single for 20 bands. But shit, you might have a song called Goddamn I'm on Fire, It's Burning, and they might need to play that song in the middle, and you will take that goddamn 20 grand. You see what I'm saying? So there's a huge opportunity there. So I'm saying a lot. This is a lot for you to absorb. This is going to come out, so you're going to be able to listen to it later. But for you, get your paperwork together. There's a priority that I already provided for you, and really start focusing on your marketing initiatives and drop this shit. Because at the end of the day, you're going to learn more from dropping it than you are from watching a bunch of videos about what might happen if you drop it. Drop it, look at the data. You will learn the data as you go. And as you learn, next time we have a call, right? Maybe next time me and you have a call, or next time you see a video or you reach out to me, maybe we'll be having a different conversation about, hey, I got my analytics back and they say this. What do you think I should do with that? And the advice will be completely different. Well, let's isolate this city and this region. Let's figure out how many people you have. Let's figure out what the zip codes are. Let's figure out if you could potentially do a show there, sell merch there, right? It'll be a more refined conversation. But right now, you just got to get it out. See who likes it. See who fucks with you. All right?
Okay.
That was a lot. I know I beat you up a little bit. I hope I didn't hurt you too. I'm just trying to give it to you straight.
No, I caught a lot. I just want to reiterate like a couple of things that you said because I want to make sure I got the right advice. But basically, okay, so I need to go to BMI, make sure that I sign up and everything straight with BMI. Then go over to Sound Exchange, make sure that everything is right there. Then you also talked about ISRT codes and bank account information, but that's not even something I need to be worried about right now because I need to make sure that I'm heard. After that, there was also Swiss keys, but I'm not ready for that one yet either. I really need to focus more on creating that art because I'm so stuck on the business point. You also said I need to work on my merchandise because like 25 t-shirts is the same as 1 million streams, and I need to focus on doing sync deals because those are like Indy's best friends because, you know, you make a lot of money from, you know, independent music. But that's everything that I just caught out of everything you just said. Yes,
a couple things I got to clarify. About 150 sales will be the same as 1 million streams, not 25. And also I did say ISRC codes. I meant to say EIN number. And I was thinking about when you set up your company, you need the EIN number. I was thinking about EINs. I wasn't thinking about ISRC codes. ISRC codes are the codes affiliated with your individual songs, right? It has nothing to do with banking. So I just was throwing out the wrong language. I don't even know how I did that, but I just got energy. But EIN number is the number that you're going to get from the government that's going to identify your social security number as a business. IRC code is the social security number for every individual song. So I completely threw that out there crazy, and I'm realizing I was using the wrong text, but I want you to understand, I don't want you to get confused there. So every song you release will be assigned an ISRC code. DistroKid will do that for you. TuneCore will also do that for you. CD Baby will do that for you. Stem will do that for all these platforms will do it for you. I'm just a DistroKid fan. I've also had a great experiences with TuneCore. So pick your poison. You chose BMI over ASCAP. Perfectly fine. That's the poison you chose. And I think your recap was solid. Yeah. So my feedback to you would be do it and reach back out and let's talk about what the results.
Okay. I'm gonna do that. Thank you for calling me. Like you really just set my career on fire. Like I'm so happy.
I appreciate it. I appreciate your energy and your positive vibes. So as you're going through your journey, take that advice, start executing it. And remember, you've watched all the videos. Some of the things that I've written down, the things that I've written down and offered on the site are so much more detailed than what I do in the videos because I literally map this out with people like you in mind. So don't be scared if you haven't grabbed any of the info packs to grab one of them, one that's relevant. Obviously the booking one isn't relevant to you right now, but maybe the publishing and the copyrights is relevant to you. Maybe management is relevant to you. Grab the stuff that's relevant to you in time as you see fit, because these tools really break down the details. And that's what it's all about, is giving the details. And I know I'm going to do a marketing one. I really wrote the marketing one 4 years ago. I never released it. So I'm going to be editing that and releasing that as well. And that might be beneficial for you. But outside of that, Braziana, I appreciate your energy. I really do. Thank
you. And I thank you so much. Let me just do this for you. Is it okay if I just say a quick prayer?
You want to say a quick prayer?
Uh-huh.
I am open for prayer. I'm a religious guy. Let's do it.
Awesome.
This floor is yours.
Jesus, I come before you telling you thank you so much for lighting myself, my family, my generation, and this man right here completely on fire with the Holy Ghost and with the power that I'm just so happy. And I ask for nothing but peace and blessings over this man, his family, over all the information. I ask this podcast is the best podcast all over YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, Spotify, every outlet possible. I ask that one day I get to actually meet him in person, that we work together, and I know that you got so much in store. In Jesus' name we pray, amen.
Amen.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. I'm definitely going to reach back out to you again.
For sure. I appreciate you as well. Enjoy the rest of your evening, because I know it's about 10:50 there, 10:50, 9:50 there. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Take those bullet points, and I appreciate you. All right?
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. Bye. Wow. That was the first time I've definitely never had a prayer in a recording setting before. That was dope. I hope you guys actually close your eyes and pray with us. I definitely did. Dope energy. Wow. I'm a little set it back here. Okay. Let's do it. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. How to communicate your vision to find investors. That's an interesting conversation. Joseph out of San Diego wants to talk about investors. That's a dope conversation. I want to have that conversation. Let's see where he wants to go with this conversation. Many of us are always looking for investors, so let's see where it goes. Here we go.
Sir Love.
Joseph, how you doing, my guy?
Hey, doing great, man.
Super solid, man. Super solid, bro. I appreciate you reaching out. I saw your message. I was going through. I got quite a few of them, and I saw your message about investors, and I said, you know what? A lot of people probably have this same question, so I'm really curious to see where you're going. I've been in so many different investor conversations in my career, so I'm intrigued here. So, you in Cali, you're a manager, right?
What did you say?
I said you're a manager, correct?
No, I'm a rapper.
You're the rapper, so you're the artist. Got it.
No Dream.
You said what?
No Dream.
Oh, this is Dreams.
Yeah.
Wait, time out, bro. This is when you used to talk about 2 years ago, a year ago, when you and your team were getting together in marketing, right?
Yeah.
What's going on, Dream? Shit, God darn, I'm talking to you like the way you listed in my contacts. It doesn't even say Dreams, my guy. What's going on?
Yeah, because the last time we talked, I don't think I had the name yet.
Got it. How's it going?
Oh man, I've just been living my dreams. I found ways during this pandemic to make a living during music. You know, they say when there's crisis, there's also great opportunity. So I've just been looking at ways I can share the vision with investors, share the vision with other people who believe in what we're doing. And that's why I push. So I see you're starting a podcast.
Yeah.
So is it like your YouTube channel?
It's going to be like the YouTube channel. We're going to be putting visuals to it. It's going to be dope. I don't want to oversell it because we're still working on it. But I mean, technically, you're live on it right now. I'm not live, but you're on it right now. So this conversation is being recorded and it's for the people to consume. So, I want to have a real life, conversation about investors with you, and other people are going to listen to us chat. So, yeah, that's where we've evolved to, man. I mean, it's been I think our first conversation was a while back. So you've seen the evolution of this whole thing. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
And I remember when you were doing, I remember you had different team members. I talked to some of your team members. We talked about marketing and management. I think, I did the management info pack partially with your team in mind, as I recall, with some of the conversations that we were having. Yeah, man. So, it's been a journey.
Yeah, thank you, Sir Love. Your work has made a big difference in my career. I remember you sent me that thing about how people don't care about you, and like that example of the airplane crashing until you found out there was somebody that was in that city.
Yep.
And then all those questions, I went over that thing like 4 or 5 times, but I still check on it and ask those questions like, why do you matter? What is, what do you do for me? What do people need to know?
Wow.
All those questions really have helped giving me guidance through this time. I've always held on to that document. So
wow.
Thank you for that.
You're welcome.
I learned a lot about the music business side from your YouTube channel. You've given a tremendous amount of value. I found out about you when you were featured on Brandman Sean's channel a while back.
Yep. Yeah, Brandman's the guy. And you know what's crazy? That content that I sent to you was from a book that I had written a long time ago. To this day, I've never released that book. Like, to this day, I have not. That is the marketing book. That is like all of my gems. Not all of them, but a lot of my gems in one place, and like my personal story. And I've never released the book. And I remember I sent you, I think like a quarter of a chapter from that book, and it included all that content in there. So for sure. And I remember that was the conversations that we were having. I remember like you needing to get to some basic things that were going to revolutionize the way that you thought about yourself. And I remember that being my thought, and hearing you regurgitate it back now is super rewarding for me to know that it actually had the impact that I thought it would have. So, and now fast forward, we're talking about investors. I mean, we're talking about getting money now. So what's going on? I mean, you got some people that want to throw some change at you. What's the story? Give me the background.
So my name Joe Dreams it actually comes from the story from the Bible of Joseph with the coat of many colors. He had dreams about, I don't know if you grew up in a Christian background or familiar with the stories, but all the Christians know about that story. And like we were saying earlier, my birth name is Joseph, and I've always felt like I'm a dreamer, so that's how I came to. And one of the things that Joseph is known for is his coat of many colors, and that's my brand, is that coat of many colors. And one of the reasons why I love it so much is because it's like a rainbow coat, and when I'm around people, they see the story, but when I'm around people in the world, like on the left, like politically, they believe it has to do with pride. You know what I'm talking about? So it's almost like a bridge between both, because during this time in our country where there's so much division and hatred and we got an election coming up, I've been going to protests all over the different cities, and I've been performing, doing my best to spread love and unity and helping us focus on what we have in common. So that's what I've been up to lately.
Okay. So, I mean, and I remember us talking about your brand a while back and trying to figure out, what it was going to be, what it was going to stand for. And you were juggling a couple different things. And I remember when you found your pocket and I told you, I said, yeah, that's your pocket, right? You really had a lot of motivational, uplifting concepts associated with your brand. And it sounds like you're living that truth. So I do commend you, first off, for finding that pocket and staying true to that pocket after all this time. I think my question is for you, because I know I'm reaching out and I'm calling quite a few people tonight, and I'm trying to make sure that I hit, as many people as I can. Obviously, it's not quite, well, I guess it is tonight your time, but it's definitely tonight my time in Atlanta. But I wanted to try to address or add value around the investor portion in particular. So my question for you, so that I can zoom in and beam in on it. And for all those that are listening, Joe Dreams, you just heard the story. Check him out, obviously. That's the reason why my man's threw the name out there. You got to go check him out. He's doing his thing. So, Brother Dreams, what is your investor situation?
Okay, I see. Pardon my ADD.
You good, man.
Yeah. So, the mission what we're doing is to inspire people to live their dreams through hip-hop. Mm-hmm. So, what I've been doing is I've been performing all over the place, just live, doing like freestyles, and people have been, giving me money. And when people come up to my table, I do a freestyle for them, but then I ask them the question, "What is your dream?" Right? And then 8 out of 10 times they have no idea. And I realize it's a really big problem that people have. It's like they have no idea where the vision is, or where they're going, or what they love doing. And a lot of people are caught up in jobs that just really not for them, or that they're not really excited about, and it seems like a chore, right? So what I want to do is a program that helps people find what their dream is, and so they can go live it. And me leading by example, by doing it myself, so they can. So, like, my logo is me jumping off the cliff. It's like kind of, like the Jumpman logo on the Michael Jordan
right
brand. It's kind of like that, but me jumping off the cliff. And I remember I got the logo after I jumped, other people started jumping at the place that I took the photo at, and that's what I really want to be.
Okay.
For others.
Well, hold on, because you're kicking the pitch right now. Is there somebody that's interested in investing in you right now?
At the moment, I'm looking for investors.
Got it.
But I know they're out there, because something like this, especially black business during this time, I know I can find people who want to support that.
How many followers do you have?
I got like 250,000.
Got it. I literally just got off the phone with one of my colleagues that called me and said, hey, do you know anyone with 10,000 or more followers? There's this new grant they're giving for black businesses. And if they're a black business and you have over 10,000 followers, they're cutting you checks like right now. And I said, man, shoot, I don't know. I'll figure it out. And I would have literally lined you up with that right now if you told me you had 10,000. Because that call happened about like 2 hours ago. But I'll tell you this. So from a finding investor perspective, investors in music are people that have a lot of ancillary cash, disposable income, and they are looking for a lifestyle. You know, if you want a safe bet on your investments, you invest in real estate, right? You invest in, if you're familiar with the stock market, you invest in stocks. If you're a little more risky, you invest in cryptocurrencies. If you're safe, you do mutual funds, right? There's a whole lot of avenues to invest financially that allow you to get consistent returns, right? From a business perspective. When people invest in music, it's because they're intrigued with the lifestyle. They're intrigued with the messaging, the broader messaging and communication that, you know, the implications that it has on people as a whole, or the youth, or whatever they're trying to influence. Or they had a childhood passion. It was a person that played in the band as a kid and always wanted to be a musician, and instead he was a salesperson or a doctor, and now he has the money to get back into it and he wants to do it. And then you also have people, those are generally the people that invest. So my advice to you, and the last token is also people that are trying to hide or shield money, which means a person that's involved in illegal activities, right? So my last bit of advice to you, or not last bit, my bit of advice to you would be, you need to figure out what people in your circle fall into these categories and target them with these conversations. I mean, I just gave you the profiles. I mean, that's game. That's game. These are the profiles of the people that spend money when it comes to investing in artists, right?
Okay. The thing is, it's because they believe in the cause and the type of lifestyle, and they want to promote that lifestyle. So this applies to not only investors, but people who just want to give donations as well.
No, I mean, it differs, because I remember some of our previous conversations in the past, right? You know, a lot of your message, you are a person that's truly focused on creating change, right? And most artists are just focused on getting their music out there. Like, I honestly feel like for you, you would be more concerned with getting X amount of people to change their life than you would be with generating X amount of streams, right?
Yeah.
So I think that you are a unique artist in that sense, because you have a moral clause. Because of that, for you, even some of the traditional avenues may not be best. You may need to partner with other organizations that have moral clauses. Honestly, a close friend of mine ended up moving into religious rap. He's a gospel rapper, and he is doing amazing things, you know, in reference to having impact and change on people's lives. I know other artists that have gone into kind of this social reform space where they are, you know, performing for nonprofits and contributing to nonprofits. And, you know, I was in that space for a while doing music therapy for nonprofits. You know, I partnered with Neo in the Compound Foundation and Chris Kids organization in the state of Georgia and Atlanta, and we did music therapy for kids. And you know, there was opportunities obviously to generate revenue in this space and set up concerts and stand a third. You may need to start looking through those avenues for what you're trying to do, because what you're trying to do isn't going to be a traditional music pathway. I think that since you have such a passion for music, sometimes your passion for music and your message and your goal from a morality standpoint clash, and you have to find harmony between these ideas. And that's going to be going to a space where you can truly excel, because, I mean, you don't have to be a famous rapper to make a career out of rapping. Like, I literally know people that just do private events and make great money, and they, you know, have, just like Sinbad, the comedian, right?
I see. So what you're saying is that, hey, if you want to do something more moral like that, then You want to find the people that want that kind of music. It doesn't have to be the traditional rap path.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
That's the direction that you should go personally for investors, because any other pathway, you'll be creating a confusing conversation where you're talking about, investments and return on investments and streaming and this, that, and the third. And truly, that's not really your goal. Your goal is to impact people, change lives, and make people better. Right? That's the whole concept of dreams, with the religious story behind it, with the jump man on the, jumping off the cliff, with I want to inspire you to follow your dreams and just take the leap of faith. All of these different concepts. I support all these concepts, but, I think that the space that you're in may not be conducive to what you're trying to go. So align yourself with that space. Really beam in on those opportunities.
Okay, so let me ask you something. Because my approach has been like how I see it, like tofu, right? So how do they sell tofu? Right? They'll make hamburgers or hot dogs. They'll make it just like the stuff that people are used to eating, but it's better for you. So that's my approach with music, because I see myself topping the billboard with my music and what I've been able to do lately. And I believe I can make music and have the message that I want in there in a way that appeals to a mass audience, like radio and stuff like that. Because those are the people that I want to reach. I do it in a way like a Trojan horse.
So I support the vision, but if you're going to be a Trojan horse, you have to be committed to the horse. Like if you want to be a Trojan, and this is for everyone. I hope everyone's catching this right now. If you want to be a Trojan horse, because there are a lot of people that do music for moral purposes. If you want to be the Trojan horse, which goes back to the story of Troy in when they invaded, what was it, Athens that they invaded, or Sparta? No, Sparta teamed up with Athens and they fought against Troy, whatever. So, right, Troy, and that's the big battle of Achilles, right, and Hector. So when you talk about the Trojan horse, the thing about it is you got to be committed to that horse. You got to be 100% committed to making the best possible horse ever. You can't be focused on what's going to happen when the horse gets inside the gates of the enemy. You have to first be focused on how to make this gift as visually appealing as possible, how to send the message that we surrender, that we want to be a part of you, accept us. How can I force you to accept me? Like all of those components would have to be your focus first. Right now, your focus is how do I change lives? And maybe your focus has to be, how do I create something that makes everybody accept it first? Because that's what the Trojan horse was. And then after they received it, then they got, in the Trojan War, then everyone hopped out the horse, started running around killing people, right? So I think for you, your language to me is not focused on the horse. It's focused on what you're going to do when you get behind the enemy gates. So I want you to take that metaphor and really think about that, because yes.
Wait, I'm sorry. You got cut off for the last 10 seconds. What's that?
Yeah, what I'm basically saying is that your language and your approach and thought process is not structured currently to pursue investors that are going to allow you to be that Trojan horse that can see the output and total return on what they're looking to do. If you want to be the Trojan horse, then all of this motivational speaking talk that you're doing needs to almost disappear. And all of your conversations should be about your fans, your audience, your merch sales, traditional business stuff associated with music and return on investment. And then later they find out, oh, in addition to me doing all these sales and this, that, and the third, I also have a positive message. I'm also working with nonprofits. I'm also, right? You can't lead with that if you have the Trojan horse approach.
Okay.
You don't need the Trojan horse approach. If you don't use the Trojan horse approach, you can just target those organizations, but those organizations aren't going to lead you on that multi-platinum, billboard path that you want to be on. Study Lecrae. Lecrae is a dope person to study, or Sho Baraka, other gospel rappers, because you can kind of see some of the spaces you can get caught up in. And then there are other very religious rappers. I mean, Kendrick Lamar is religious. Chance the Rapper is super religious. DMX was super religious, even though he was super conflicted at the same time. So there's a lot of frameworks to follow, right? But I do want to catch one more person before I conclude this episode today. But Dreams, it was super dope to catch up with you. Glad you're still doing it. Glad you that the vision and the branding that we kind of identified a long time ago, that you stuck with it. In because at that time period you were trying to figure out who you are, and obviously being that this held so long, you know who you are. I just think you're trying to figure out how to position who you are to the rest of the world in a palatable way. And maybe it's multi-billboard success, or maybe it's being a local legend, or maybe it's making a sustainable career. I think you got to figure that out and figure out what you're willing to sacrifice to get what you want. But I do appreciate you reaching out, man, and I enjoy talking to you every single time. But I got to hit a couple other people, my guy.
All right, Sir Love. Thank you so much.
I appreciate you too. All right, Joe. I appreciate you, brother. Super dope. Wow, Joe. Joe inspires so many things. Joe and his team inspired so many things. They let me know very early on. This is one of the cats that when I first, started doing the show, the channel, really gave me insight into what you all needed and what you were experiencing and challenges that you were facing and how conflicted we can be as artists and creatives and people in the business. And super dope to talk to Joe. Just like that, let's go on to the next. All right, we got Shaniqua out of Houston. Hey, what is she saying? It looks like she just completely repeated the message that I sent. I have no idea what Shaniqua is requesting here. Did Shaniqua ask a question in the past? Shaniqua did. We had a whole conversation. We taped the call back in December. No, back in August. What year was that? August 2018. We had a conversation. It's been 2 years. All right. Let's figure out what's going on. See if this call is going to go through. Here we go. Hello? Hello?
Yes.
Hey, can I speak to Shaniqua Shacklin?
Wait a minute. Yes, who's calling?
This is Sir Love from Phase 6. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Bet. I'm reaching out to you. I sent a message out, sent a blast out to everybody because we are launching a podcast. We're reaching out to everybody, randomly. And I know that you and I had conversations back in 2018, so it's been a minute. And
yeah,
according to my messages here, you literally liked my message or you replied to my message or something of that nature. And I'm literally just going through everyone that reached back out and trying to talk to as many people as possible. So I figured that I hit you up. How's everything going?
Oh, it's going good.
It's going good. It doesn't sound like it's a great time for you to talk. You good? It's a good time?
No, I'm fine. Just relax. I'm good.
I bet. Actually, it's what? About it's 10:20 there right now?
11.
Okay, 11:20. Well, it's almost it's 12:20 here, so I get it. Relaxation is the vibe. So I don't recall all the conversations we have in the past. I've been reaching out to everybody for the podcast to have questions, and you are the last person on today's show because you are on recording right now. If you're comfortable with that, and I am here to ask you questions, to accept questions that you may have to see if there's any way that I can help you on your journey. So, you got the floor. I know it's a random call out the blue, and I think that that's what makes it cool. So, what's going on?
Oh, man. Well, right now, I haven't really taken a pause, from music or whatever, but I'm just kind of assessing what's the objective,
Okay.
And so that's kind of like, where I am. That's where I've been because I'm a mature artist. and I have to assess what is my bigger picture with making music and all those things. So right now I'm basically just focused on licensing and stuff like that. So
licensing because you're pursuing certain types of deals, like certain deals you're pursuing right now.
Yes. Right, yes, correct. And I have one thing that's in the works, and so we're just waiting on the final day to start shooting videos and all of that stuff. So,
okay. So you took a hiatus away from creating music. You're an artist, took a hiatus, and you're focused now on pursuing, it sounds like, what are these, sync deals or outside of music deals? I mean, what type of deals are these that you're pursuing?
I guess it would be. I guess it would be sync because it's a major brand. They want to use a song that my writing partner got together in. Wasn't a song that we wrote, but we sort of rearranged it.
Okay.
And it's a very popular song that we rearranged, and they want to use it for their campaign. And so that's, basically what we're going to do, and they're going to allow us to be a part of the campaign, the visuals, and all that stuff. So just trying to, do more of that versus focusing on being an artist. I feel like being true to myself, I'm going to always be an artist, so to speak, because a creative is a creative,
Right. Yep.
And I enjoy getting in front of a crowd and singing all of that. It's kind of like an athlete. You know how you see the guys or women or whatever, and they're used to be pro or whatever at some point, then they stop doing it. Now they just blow up, and they just looking like you used to. You don't even look like it anymore, because they're out of shape and they haven't done anything. I don't ever want to allow that to be me as a writer and as a vocalist. I want to be sure that I'm still working out in my craft, in my area. So I will always be performing, and doing this and doing that. But, it's just not my main focus anymore.
I got it. And right now your main focus is generating opportunities outside of going out and focusing on performing and doing shows and things of that nature. So you still have a passion for being an artist, but your passion for being the performer and the star is transitioning, correct?
Correct.
And something that might be very real for you that you might not be ready for? If you don't mind. Hey, I'm all ears for it. Let me know. If you're uncomfortable with this, let me know. But you're 28 now, right?
No.
How old are you now, if you don't mind me asking?
Add 10 more years.
10 more years. I'm looking. Oh, you know what? I'm looking at the complete wrong profile. I'm sitting here looking at someone that sent me a message at 26. You are all right. So 10 years in it. So basically, what I was thinking, and that is more in line with what I was thinking. It sounds like you're at that transition space. That transition space.
Probably so. Probably so. Because like right now, I'm doing that online store, the activewear, and I'm just doing. It's just a lot of other things going on in life, but I still have it as a focus. But I have to be realistic about what the overall objective in everything that I do is. No frivolous time, no wasted moments.
It sounds to me like you're at that place in your career where, and this happens to a lot of artists, most executives were creatives. Like L.A. Reid was a drummer,
Mm-hmm.
right? When you study people like Jimmy Iovine and Geffen and all these individuals, well, not Geffen. Geffen's not a great example, but a lot of people that became great executives in the business, they had a creative role. Like Jimmy was an engineer,
Mm-hmm.
And so you might be at that space where, all the knowledge that you have gathered through the years, you might be ready. It sounds to me like you're actually ready to say, you know what? I don't want to be the person in the forefront. I think it's time for me to be the person that handles the business on the back end and that can live vicariously through that next young talent that had the same vision that I did, that didn't have the opportunities that I had. And I can possibly invest some of my efforts into them and help those individuals win. And there are a lot of ways that you can do that, whether it's management or working for a label or being a booking agent or a publicist or all sorts of things, because it sounds like you're still tied to the game, but you're tied to the game from a perspective that you're not willing to invest in. At the end of the day, you can create opportunities for yourself and a couple opportunities here and there, but you're not truly vested in what you created anymore. You might feel like that phase has passed you. You might feel like, you know, the dream that I had, I no longer want. You know, it was fun when I was X amount age and I thought, oh man, I'm going to go do this, that, and the third. And now you're at the space where you're like, even if I had the opportunity to do this, that, and the third, I wouldn't even want to do that shit. Right. So that's a transitionary period that actually makes a lot of great business professionals. So my question to you is, have you thought about that? Have you considered maybe stepping behind the scenes and becoming that figure?
Right.
Well, have you?
Yeah, like you were cutting out a little bit.
Okay. Have you considered stepping behind the scenes and being that figure, that business person? Is that something that you've thought about?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I've been that person. I've groomed other artists, spoke for other artists. Always talking to them about, you know, the same thing same questions I ask myself, like, you know, what is the reason that you do what you do? What is your why? You know, why are you an artist? Are you here? You know, what is your purpose for being here? Are you going to bring anything different? Are you bringing the same old same? Do you know your sound? Like, you know, grooming and honing in, helping other artists hone in on what their unique thing is. The thing that I had to teach myself, that it took me years to figure out. I know how to help other artists do that now. The going through the trenches in the music industry, I would say at least up to a certain point, being a new artist or being a fresh voice, a fresh face, coming up saying, okay, I want to do this as a career. I know how to help those younger artists do what they need to do and not struggle so hard trying to get it done, scratching and scratching and scratching.
So it sounds
giving
like
them a trail, you know.
Sounds like you've really answered the question, because I'm looking through our previous conversations now. It's all starting to come back to me. You and I had a conversation a while back about a contract that you were given that you and I both, you know, came to the conclusion that it was a bullshit agreement, right?
I'm sorry. I don't know what's happening, but it's like sometimes you're disappearing, like you're just not even there.
I don't know
what happened. I'm missing it.
So you and I had a conversation in the past where you sent me an agreement, right? Like a contract, and we talked about it.
Yes, I did.
And I remember that being like a BS agreement where they were trying to screw you. Is that right?
I believe that it was,
Yeah.
and I did not sign it, and because we went back and forth. And I don't think I got opportunity. I didn't text you back or email you back to let you know that the lawyer that was doing the agreement for the guy or whatever was very nasty with me, and I hate when people do that because it's a very she's a well-known entertainment attorney, at least here in Houston, and she was very nasty and condescending, and you know, and I was like, I would expect better. We're supposed to be trying to help our own people to do better and come up. And all I'm getting is nasty attitude. I'm just like, I don't want to work with nobody like this. If this is your representation, I understand that this is your people, you know, your guard dog or your whomever you pay. But there should not be any nastiness that comes along with it. They should just say, you know, well, my client, you know, doesn't want to move forward or they don't want to do X, Y, and Z. Thank you and good day. Not the way that she came off to me. And I was just like, oh no, ma'am. I can't even recommend anybody to you. And I see her now, she's trying to give advice to artists and all of that. And I'm thinking to myself, little do they know the kind of person that she really is.
Yeah, I remember looking over that agreement and being like, there's no way in the world that you should sign this, right? And I'm glad that you avoided that bullet. Like, I'm glad that you did not, pursue that pathway. But I mean, from what I'm hearing now, a lot of things have changed since those conversations. And I'm excited to, not excited, but I'm thankful that I can hear the results of said conversation and kind of get to hear how it played out and that you didn't make that mistake. So, congrats on that. But also, I hear potential, business person brewing within you, and obviously whatever changes have occurred in your life, you've gotten a lot more comfortable, right? There's a lot more opportunities that might be available to you outside of entertainment that you may be considering. But if you are willing to come back to the game, it sounds like you've learned quite a bit, and that that role as a leader might be up for grabs for you, especially in a city like Houston.
I'm glad.
So that's what's up. So I'm not going to hold you too much longer. I appreciate the recap. It was great to talk to you and catch back up and see how that panned out for you in the past. But, thank you for, being you, supporting the channel, supporting me, believing in me, and giving me the opportunity to help you avoid that situation when it happened, and just kind of trusting our process here. That's what we started all this for, was to help people. So I super appreciate your energy, and I will not keep you up too much later. I'm getting ready to lay it down myself. So enjoy the rest of your evening, and until next time, if you have anything else, make sure that you reach out to me. We're still here.
Yes, I sure will, because I do have something. I do have something for you that I think you're interested in doing.
Hey, we're still here. You got the line, so hit me whenever you need me, all right?
All right, take care.
Right, take care. Bye. Last reach out. I'm ready to shut it down, but I really like this guy Roach is really reaching back out, and maybe it's going to be magic. I'm going to call this guy one more time. He's reached out to me every time that I missed him. He hit me back. If he doesn't pick up this time, it's over. We're going to conclude this episode because I'm ready to lay it down, but at the same time, I want to support the energy. There's a bunch of other people that reached out, and I am not going to go through all those individuals, but I will give Roach one more shot. So let's see what Roach is talking about. Maybe. Let's see.
Hello?
Oh, shit. Roach picked up. What's going on, my guy?
My guy, what it is?
Listen, man, I just told the whole world that this was the last time I'm going to call this man. I'm like, this man does not pick up the phone. That's it. We're concluding the episode for the day. How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. Thank you for calling me.
Hey, man, no problem, man. I know you in the studio working, though, so, it's creative energy. I already get it. If you couldn't get back to me tonight, it would have been nothing, because I know you might be making that next hit record that's going to change everyone's life,
For sure, man. I appreciate you dropping the knowledge like you always do.
Hey, man. Thank you. I know I was reading through different messages that you sent over. I got this, I was reading through the different messages, and I saw that you were asking questions about management, about Spotify playlists, about what a manager should be doing and how cats should be navigating. And I felt like this was a conversation that people needed to hear. And so, as I mentioned on the text, you're not live, but you're on record right now for the podcast. So you are making a debut for all of the audience that we have, and we're just going through and reaching out to people just like you, answering real life questions and helping people navigate. So thank you for picking up, man, and thank you for supporting the channel, and thank you for being down with Phase 6 and everything that we represent and taking time. Are you in a paid session right now? Are you taking away? Are you stepping away from your session?
Nah, go ahead, bro. I want to hear what you got to say because you always have a really modern perspective on everything, and I think it's important for a lot of people to hear it. And
I appreciate you taking the time to honestly drop it too, because it's very valuable, the things you have to say. So please go ahead.
Got it, for sure. So, so my goal is to answer some of your questions. So you said, how often should you be speaking with your manager? Should they get you on Spotify playlists? If you don't have a label, should they be the one shopping you around? And that's an interesting question. There's 3 questions in this, and I want to go through them. All right. So I want to answer your question. So let's talk about it. So number 1, how often should you be speaking to your manager? The answer to that depends on what type of manager you're talking about, but I already know that you're talking about your artist manager, right? But I want to provide clarity. If it's your road manager, you typically speak to them when you're on the road, right before you get on the road and right after you get off the road. You may have an additional relationship outside of the road, but when you're on the road is when you deal with your road manager. Your business manager is reaching out to you periodically. This is an individual that's calling you about your taxes, your bills, just and the third. You're talking to them at least 2 to 3, maybe 4 times a month, right? Because you want to, and sometimes it's not even that pressing. Once you get your system underway with your business manager, you have everything synced up, but you're always reviewing the numbers because the business manager by far is the person that can screw you the most if you're not on top of your business and you don't know this person, trust this person, etc. But communications with them are really about investment opportunities, new business opportunities in general, paying off old debts, acquiring new assets, dealing with pre-existing assets, things of that nature. Now, you also have your manager and you also have your assistant. Now, your assistant, they pretty much live with you. You're dealing with them day to day, all the time, regularly. They're the person that is down for everything. They're with you side by side all the time. But the person that you're talking about are neither of these people, because I don't believe that you're speaking about, a person that has... Oh, shoot. Did we lose him? I think I lost Roach. Just like that. Let's call him back one more time.
We got disconnected there.
We did. Where'd you lose me?
What's that?
I said we did. Where did you lose me?
I think you were at the very end. You were at business manager and then, assistant. Got it.
So let's talk about your manager, right? The most important part, because I want to make sure we capture this in this episode before we exit for the day. So your manager, all right? Your question was, how often should you be in communication with this person? You should be in communication with this person darn near daily, every other day. This should be someone that you talk to all the time. If you have a manager and you don't talk to them regularly, then there's a problem. Period. Right? If they are a business manager, you do not speak to them regularly. Now, some managers will present themselves as a business manager or present themselves as your artist manager, which is your manager, your day-to-day manager, but then act as a business manager. And then you have other managers that are actually true artist managers, and they are there for you every day. Depending on your setup, you can have a business manager and an assistant, where your assistant is handling all of your day-to-day needs, while your business manager is handling your business needs. And you don't even have an artist manager. That is a thing. That is definitely a thing, especially for artists that know how to handle their own business. Right? They don't need an artist manager. They just need a business manager and an assistant who they give a salary to, right? But if you are new and upcoming, you have an artist manager, you should be in contact with this person multiple times a week. All right? Because you got to talk about the plan, the play, your updates, your progression. Your artist manager should be creating a business plan for you guys to succeed, and you should be talking about how you're performing against that plan regularly. They should be in the studio with you. They should be making sure you're in the mirrors. They should be on the road with you most of the time, or partial on the road with you. If you have 100 dates, they're there for at least 30 of those dates, right? So this is kind of the relationship that you have. Should they get you on Spotify playlists? Well, that depends. Are they your investor? Spotify playlists either A, cost money if you're reaching out to an independent playlist creator, and if they are a original Spotify playlist like Rap Caviar or Soul Food or R&B or something of that nature where it's curated by Spotify, in those particular scenarios, they may not have the bandwidth to get you on those platforms, right? Normally those platforms are all of those platforms are algorithm based. The more plays that you get on smaller platforms will help you perform on those platforms. There are a lot of hip hop platforms that if you perform well on, the algorithm will automatically put you on Rap Caviar, right? At the same time, there's curators for Rap Caviar that will put you on Rap Caviar because they really fuck with your music and what you're doing and your movement or your radio plays or whatever other assessments that they're doing to determine the value of your record. Right? So on one level, it's the value of your music in the market. And on the other level, there's favoritism. Like Khaled got on because the person that curated the playlist really loved his music and worked him through the system. And next thing you know, send me your location. Right? So should they be trying? The answer is yes. But playlists often cost money. Should they be investing? No guarantees. Some managers are investors, some managers are not. It is not your manager's job to be your investor. Does that make sense?
Totally.
And the other piece, if you don't have a label, should they be the ones shopping you around? It depends on your goal. Once again, you and your manager should be sitting down and discussing your goals. You're an artist. You're a producer and engineer. So what are your goals, bro? Like, are you trying to get placements? Are you trying to be a television or movie engineer? Are you trying to, work with a particular artist and be the type of engineer that goes on the road with said artists all the time and works with said artists? Like, I don't know what your goals are, but whatever your goals are, you and your manager should be mapping out those goals together and trying to figure out how to achieve them and setting measurable deadlines, right? Hey, by this date, we want to accomplish this thing. And these are all the tasks that we have to accomplish in order to make that happen. I talk about all of this in the management info pack that's on the website. If you feel your manager doesn't know how to be a manager, you should gift him the info pack about management. Or buy it for yourself, read it so that you can at least know how this person's supposed to be navigating so that you can properly guide him on how to push your career, because you may have a great relationship with this person and you don't want to get rid of them, but what you want to do is help point them in the right direction, because management is a environment where no one knows what the fuck they're doing unless you've been under the guidance of somebody else. So they just may not know. And so when it comes to shopping you around, the question is, are you trying to be shopped, and for what reason? If you are trying to be shopped, and we identify the reason, because you want to be a label engineer, you want to be a movie engineer, you want to be with a particular artist, you just want to generate more revenue, whatever the hell the reason is, if they're going to be shopping you around, that means they have relationships with multiple different production warehouses or labels or whatever, and they're going around playing your records. Melita the Mogul is a perfect example of this. I had the pleasure of hanging around her a lot and working with her, and she works with some really dope producers in the game, and she almost actually worked with some of the artists that I had, right? And she's the founder of Mogul Mentality, which is really big. She started off with Rick Ross doing her thing with like Sony Digital and Metro Boomin and all these other different people, and now she has her own clients that she represents who are doing crazy placements for like Chris Brown and all these other different people. And this chick used to work, she affiliated with herself with QC, quality control, and she put in motherfucking work. This chick fucking grind. She was in the studio all the time at every fucking studio in the city in Atlanta and showcasing her producers' work to every motherfucking body and trying to get every motherfucking body rapping to her artist shit, right? And she was fucking grinding. And that type of manager grind is really a salesman type role, because her thing was, if I get this placement, I get 20% of everything I sell. Now, if you're a salesman in any other career, who the fuck gives you 20% of what you sell? People give you 10%, people give you 3%, right? For the amount of revenue that you're generating, 20% is huge. So there's a huge opportunity for managers that want to get in the space of producers, because producers generate revenue, whereas artists cost money. Producers make money, engineers make money, artists cost money. So for any manager that wants to be in the space and make money, working with a producer or an engineer like yourself will help them make money, right? So, I mean, that's insight that your manager should probably be aware of, but there's different type of managers, and it's very hard to find a manager that works that hard for producers or engineers. That's not the norm, but is it out there? Yes. Can you have someone like that represent you? Yes. Can you motivate your current person that you're working with to represent you in that way? Yes. Go for the W. I'm sitting here rambling. I know you're listening, but that was a lot. So let me pause. How do you feel about that? What are your thoughts? Did that answer your questions?
Of course you answered the questions. I appreciate you answering them and being just so diligent with your answers. Like, it's information that you don't understand unless you experienced it. So it's like, I appreciate, like, as far as like working with up and coming artists, you know, I noticed that a lot of independent labels are gaining a lot of traction now, and you know, there's just seems to be. And it's interesting what you said about having an assistant and a business manager. I never even knew about that, and it's just interesting how you put it, to pay the assistant a salary. As far as independent labels, like, I got another question. I'm just curious, like, what do you think about that? It seems like it's expanding and going back to how it was 40 years ago, where there were a lot of independent labels. So, and it seems like they can, if they have a couple connections at Spotify or Apple Music or something, a big digital platform, they don't have a means of pushing the product now. It's like, I'm just curious what your take is on that versus the majors. Like, it seems like a lot of more independent labels are coming up and doing what the majors are doing.
Well, majors and independent do the same shit. Like, everyone likes to think that, oh man, I'm with an independent, I'm safe, this is better. But it's the same shit, man. At the end of the day, if you wanted to sign with me, right? You're not fucking signing with me unless I'm making money. I'm not going to work if I'm not making money. Why the fuck am I going to go out here, bust my ass, and not make any money? So how do I make money off of you is the question. And that is the question that makes everybody uncomfortable. You're going to just make money off of me? Well, what about me? I want to own my shit, and I want this, and I want that. Okay, well, pay me. I'll work, and you know, whatever money you make, you make. Well, the truth is, you're not going to make much money for the first couple years. So you're going to be paying me and losing money. That's the true business. Can you pay me $80,000 a year while you lose money for 3 years straight until you start generating revenue? Can you pay me that? Can you pay me 100 grand, 60 grand, 50 grand, 200 grand? I don't know what the person's asking for. Can you pay me that? And your answer is most likely going to be no. Can you pay me $40,000 a year for 3 years while you make $0? The answer is most likely going to be no. So instead, you're going to say, you know what? I can't pay you. So instead, I will give you equity in my assets. And my assets are my intellectual property that I have created, which is my music. In short, you will sell your masters because you can't afford to pay me for my service.
Right, that makes total sense. I mean, especially if you don't have the buzz or the hype behind you, it's like there's nothing really for them to work with, and it's like, why should they even invest?
What should I do? Why should I work this hard? You want to sell me a dream? I'm a business person. I'm trying to make money. So give me a percentage of what you have and I'll go to work on the dream, because now I am tied to the dream. Now I know without a shadow of a doubt that if the dream does come to pass, I will get paid. Otherwise, I'm hustling for the dream and I have no ownership, no equity, no nothing. You can blow up, make it famous, and I can lose everything and make no money. After all that work, 3 years of busting my ass for you, and I make no money because you didn't pay me up front.
You know, what scares me just to hear about artists signing like 6 album deals, you know, and I hear about they describe them as slave contracts, and it's like, you know, and I hear about DJs like Marshmello doing single deals with multiple labels, and it's interesting how the landscape would kind of change with that. And you're still giving up ownership of the masters, but it's like interesting how he's doing single deals, and obviously he has the reputation to do that. But do you think signing a 6 album deal is smart?
It depends on how much money you're going to make up front and what you're going to get. What's the return? Smart is what it is for you. It depends on your goal. For the average artist, it's probably not the smartest thing to do. But, I mean, if someone gave you a $600 million deal for 6 albums, you'll probably fucking sign that shit. You know?
Yeah, but if it's only like $500,000 for 6 albums, you know what I'm saying? It's like, and obviously the artist isn't as big as you'd like them to be when they're signing the deal. You know, it's like, it's just scary because the A&R could leave at any moment, and you're just like stuck with whoever they.
All these things could happen. But the beauty is, if you get dropped, depending on how the deal is structured, if you get dropped, the whole deal might become null and void. You can go sign to someone else, and them 6 albums won't fucking matter anymore.
I see, like Wiz or Bruno, basically.
Yeah, I mean, like they get dropped, they go somewhere else. I mean, you know, maybe the other label pays a fee to acquire them, but life goes on. I mean, it's not about the concept, 6 albums for $500,000. It's about the details. The devil's in the details, man. Right?
Right.
I can tell you there's a 6 album deal and it could be amazing. There could be another 6 album deal that fucking sucks. So when people get caught up in the hype of, you know, this is that and this is that, and I heard about this, I think all that's bullshit. Because when I open up the contracts and I read them, that's where I find out what's real and what's not.
Right, you're right. The devil is in the details. It's so true.
It's all in the details, man. So why get caught up in that? What you're trying to do is figure out a business scenario that will yield you money. You're only going for fame or money in this game. What do you want? You want fame or you want money? What do you want? Right? If you want money, negotiate for money. If you want fame, negotiate for fame. If you want both, then you gotta wait till you got enough power in your career to ask for both. I'm not gonna make you famous and make you rich. Right? That's the mentality. It's like, I'm gonna get rich, you're gonna get famous. Or you're gonna get rich and no one's gonna get famous. Or maybe I get famous and you don't, and, you know, no one knows who you are. Like, if people know who you are, but they know I'm the one that broke you, right? Think about that. There's artists, if I think about like making the band, Diddy got more fame. He was already famous, but his fame increased because he did Making the Band. Like, he was the person that made the band, right? And the idea is that hopefully the artist got rich out of it, which unfortunately, you know, some of my sources say that might not be the case, but that also depends on the deal. Because I've heard some deals that he did that were relatively fair, and the artist just couldn't appreciate it, because Diddy's the type of person that comes in and says, you know what, I'm putting my name on it, and my name is so important that I will not allow this to fail. This cannot fail with my name attached to it. So I'm going to bring my whole team in to make this fucking project work. And when I do so, you're going to have the best of the best working every aspect of this deal to ensure success. And when I'm done, I'm going to take my team and I'm going to go about my business. Now, my question is, can you sustain what I just built for you when I leave? And the answer for most people is no. When you walk away with your superstar team and all these amazing people, I don't know what the fuck to do after you left, and artists fall off. It's not Diddy's fault. Diddy didn't fuck nobody. He just did. He focused on what he needed to do. He got it done and he moved on.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like The Voice, it seems like the judges gain more than the artists, and those deals are crazy.
Fame versus money. What do you want? There are a lot of options available. And this is the reason why I am not a fan of saying do this, do that, don't do this, do that, don't do that. Like, until I see the paperwork, I ain't gonna, like, I'll tell you, I don't think it makes sense. It doesn't sound like the best. You can outline some high level concepts and I can give you feedback. But at the end of the day, you read the contract, you know what it is. And it's all about strategy. It's not about oh, this is right and this is wrong. There is no right and there is no wrong. It's fucking strategy. What's important to me as an individual? Maybe I'm a family man. Maybe I want a long-term publishing deal that makes my life comfortable going forward, and I don't have to work so hard to achieve certain things. I have certain milestones that I have to hit. Now, maybe I like that. When Alicia Keys signed that $100 million publishing deal, you didn't hear any music from her for a minute. And then when you heard music, it wasn't at the caliber of the music that she was releasing beforehand, because she didn't need to. It's like when Michael Vick signed that $100 million deal. And then he started fucking up. How many athletes sign that big deal and start sucking the next season?
Right, that's true.
It's about what you want. What is your vision? What is your goal? What is important to you?
Right, that's very important. That's so important to know clearly.
Right. So, obviously you're a manager based off your questions, because I know I got to wrap up. Based off your questions, your manager may not be communicating with you effectively. So if you want more touch points with your manager, you need to set the tone with your manager and have a conversation about what you expect and what your goals are. At some point, you guys need to have a general goal setting conversation about what you're trying to accomplish as a team, as a duo. And you may recognize that this person may be willing to help you, but this person may not be willing to go hard for you. And when you recognize that, you have to decide, well, what role do I want them to play? Do they deserve the deal that I cut for them based off of their work ethic? Maybe I should change the deal. Maybe they should be an assistant and not a manager. Maybe they don't like the name assistant, so I'm going to give them another name that doesn't fucking matter, and I'm going to call them, my personal manager. Call them your personal manager and then go get an artist manager. Change their percentages, make them feel comfortable. Personal manager is also called a fucking assistant. Right? Maybe you have to change it around because they're not the one that's going to help you grow and get to where you need to be. Or maybe they can be. They just need motivation and stimulation and they don't know what to do or where to go. Maybe you should cop some of the products that I provided online and give it to them and say, hey, read this. Let's make a plan. Because I tell them how to make a plan, what to do, how to work it. Right? These are things that you should consider when it comes to Spotify playlists. If you want to be on Spotify playlists as a producer, you want your beats on there, and that's your goal, that's your vision, then you guys need to start talking about investments. Those investments come from you. How much money do you want to invest in getting yourself on those playlists? As I've said multiple times tonight, it takes 1 million plays to make $4,500. So if you invest more than $4,500 and you're not getting 1 million plays, you're losing somewhere. Unless it's can be a long-term investment. Like, over the course of 6 months, I will get 1 million plays and it'll be worth it. Okay, hopefully. Invest in the right playlist. There are a lot of different people out there that are scamming, taking people's money. There's other people that are throwing you on playlists with all these people and no one ever hears your shit. There's people that are really curating great playlists. There's a whole community. You got to get in there and decipher. That's work. Who's doing that work? It's technically your responsibility. Your manager doesn't have to be your marketing person. Your manager is the consultant. Period. As long as they are consulting you, they're doing their job. They consult and they execute the things that they're good at. If they're not good at it, they don't execute it. They pass it to someone else. They manage the situation. Right? The manager might know how to flip burgers at McDonald's, but they're not flipping burgers. They're making sure the person that's flipping burgers is flipping burgers. Then they're making sure the person in the drive-thru window is taking orders. Then they're making sure the person that's cleaning the bathroom ain't got no throw up in there. And they're making sure the person that has to clean the water, the juice spouts or tea spouts or whatever in the lobby, they're making sure that shit's clean. Like, the manager is making sure that the whole show is functioning. And if they have to jump into something that they understand, they do. That's why people typically hire managers that have skill sets. At McDonald's, they're going to hire the manager that knows how to clean the bathroom, that knows how to flip the burger, that knows how to make all the sandwiches, that knows how to work the cash register, because they want a manager that if some shit breaks down, the person can jump in the fire and make the shit happen. You're doing the same shit. You want a manager that knows, that has different skill sets, that can jump in if someone else fucks up. But at the end of the day, the manager isn't making it happen. They're managing what's already happening. So if you ain't got shit happening, you might not even need a manager.
Yeah, that makes total sense.
That's just all game, man. That's all game, bro. So,
man, I appreciate you dropping all that knowledge, for real.
No problem, man. Listen, you know, as I always say, I don't know everything. I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm always trying to give it everything I got. And I really appreciate you jumping on and communicating, reaching back out to me. I was really getting ready to shut it down a long time ago. I think this conversation was dope. This podcast has gone 2 hours. It's only supposed to go 1 hour. I might have to chop this shit up. But I appreciate the energy, man. And I look forward to you hearing yourself on the show and being a part of what we're doing, man. So thank you for your energy and your vibes.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you, man. To be continued.
For sure, man. Anytime I'm going to be sending these blasts out. Anytime I send the blast out, if I catch you, I catch you. Right? So here we are, man. But enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy your session. I hope I didn't throw you off too much. I hope I gave you some nuggets to take back to your team. And I hope I gave you something that you can move forward with, man. But I appreciate you, brother.
No, I appreciate you more than you realize. Thank you, man.
All right. Cool beans. Take care, man. Enjoy your night. All right. There it is. Sheesh. I gotta stop talking so much. It's goddamn an hour into, it's 2 hours into the show. I gotta shut it down. I hope this was beneficial to everybody listening. If you made it through the whole 2 hours, I mean, this is a lot of game. This is a lot of information. I know I gotta break this down and give you guys this information in smaller pieces. I hope it was beneficial. I hope it was helpful. I hope you gathered something from this, because these are real conversations with real people who have real situations, right? Now, I don't know everything, but I know a lot about a little and a little bit about a lot. And I'm here to give you guys everything that I got every single time, all the time. My name is Sirr Love from Phase 6. And I did not mention this as often as I should have throughout this. But if you want to be a part, you can reach out at 404-442-4792. 404-442-4792. You can reach out and get involved in these conversations. All right, I'm out.
Come on and face it. If you need some marketing motivation, you can learn to transform your life and build your own empire. With Sirr Love.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, I said real talk. I said real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.
Real talk, no chase.
Yeah.